Hey guys, I don't care what sport you watch. This is where the best information is. We are witnessing the NFL's annual carousel of desperation, where recycled coaching names meet front office panic. Frank Reich to the Jets, the Browns already distancing themselves from a potential Sanders pick. This isn't just news, it's a case study in how franchises try to spin hope out of chaos. Let's break down the actual football logic behind these headlines.
Hired Frank Reich as their head coach and quite likely soon to be interim head coach. And excuse me, they've hired him as their offensive coordinator, and probably by week 6 of next year, their interim head coach.
Why
are you
so
laughing
shady,
at that,
bro?
What are you talking about?
You two dudes, I forgot the pain y'all have endured for the last 2 decades. So, congratulations, Frank. You deserve it. I'm fired up for you. I know you're going to do a good job, Green.
He was the head coach in Carolina for how many games? I'm just trying to remember that.
Get out of here. Get out of here. You were so bad.
See what? Frank Reich, offensive coordinator, Jets. Go.
Listen, I actually think it's a good move.
It is.
Because he's a veteran guy. Frank Reich, as a play caller, I think would do a pretty doggone good job.
Yes.
Obviously, they just got to figure out the quarterback situation, but there are pieces on that offense for the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see how that goes. We'll just move on from there. Let's just do. I mean, you've got me in a bad mood now. You've denigrated the flu game. I haven't recovered. Tim Hasselbeck. Let's do QB quick reads. Todd Monken as head coach. What does this mean for the future of Shedeur Sanders?
It just means that Shedeur Sanders is in the quarterback room. That's what it means. And he gets an opportunity probably to compete for a roster spot in Cleveland. I don't think that Todd Monken's walking into Cleveland saying, look, we're going to build this around Sanders. I don't even think that Sanders will come into the competition there, if there is one, as penciled in as the number 2 guy. I just don't think that'll be the case. I think they'll be in the veteran market looking for a quarterback that has more playing experience.
Do you agree with that? You think Cleveland is looking for a veteran quarterback to bring in and reset with?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to add competition to that room. This thing is not going to be handed to Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, everybody's in. Brand new head coach. Everybody's job's up. They got a ton of offensive linemen who are free agents. They got a lot of work to do in Cleveland.
They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round last year too. His name doesn't even seem to come up much.
Yeah.
We'll see. Tim,
QB room.
Well, let's go to Arizona. That's an interesting one. With Kyler Murray now, Mike LaFleur is the new head coach. What do we expect Kyler Murray's future to look like?
I think Kyler Murray becomes available. I think the Cardinals are moving on from Kyler Murray, and I think he'll be one of those names that's out there as, somebody that whether you need competition, whether it's, in Minnesota or, places like that where you're looking at Kyler Murray. Now, what I would say is the name that will come up, I think quite a bit, will be Malik Willis. I think that'll be, something that's talked about quite a bit as Arizona looks to the future at quarterback.
Malik Willis, of course, playing these years under Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. Now his brother taking over there in Arizona. How about Kyler Murray? What does his future look like?
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure I agree quite yet with that. It's a massive number for the Cardinals. I want to say it's close to $100 million. There's a lot of football business with this Kyler Murray thing. And so I don't think it's nearly as clean as we're going to move on for Kyler Murray. I think that's probably part of the job interview was could you rehab him or bring him back to the building and back to the fray?
What do you think?
I would say it would be more likely to happen for this simple reason. We've seen in recent years where teams have said, let's just eat the cap. Let's just eat the cap space now. Who expects the Arizona Cardinals to really be all that good in year 1? With Mike LaFleur. It's better to just eat it now. We've seen the Denver Broncos do it with Russell Wilson. So eat it, deal with it, and then move on from there.
I'll be interested to see who it is that decides to bring in Kyler Murray. Obviously has a skill set, and we'll see if there's a team out there that buys in. Last one, Tim. Matt Ryan and the Falcons. He's now running that organization, for those unaware. Not committing to Michael Penix as their starter yet for next year. What do you think the quarterback situation in Atlanta looks like?
I think they have to bring in competition because of the injury situation with Penix, which is why Matt Ryan is not committing to it. I think this, unfortunately, because of the injury history, is trending towards a situation like the Colts were in, which is, look, you may love the prospect, you may love the young quarterback, but if he can't stay healthy that you can rely on him and build around him, you're forced to bring somebody in that can play when that guy gets hurt. Otherwise, you're going to get fired. And think of the perspective Stefanski's coming into this with. He actually had a decent team in Cleveland, but he never had a quarterback, and that was the problem. That was the death of his opportunity in Cleveland. It's hard to become a head coach twice when you didn't have success the first time. I think you have to go down swinging, trying to find somebody that can give you starter level play out of the quarterback position, and you can't do it with a guy that's rehabbing a knee.
And I mean, this is interesting. This is an interesting. Kirk Cousins, they redid his contract to probably help him move. But Stefanski won with Joe Flacco in Cleveland. Does he like that fit? Because Tim makes a great point. At that position, availability is the greatest ability. We say that a lot in the NFL. But at that position in particular, your quarterback can't be missing 4 or 5 games a year. And so Penix has either got to get healthy or they got to move on. This is the most interesting because their team and the division they're in, they can make noise right now. They could be the Patriots, right? They have that kind of talent. It's going to be interesting for me to see how they fit it.
Yeah, I think that's my point there. I look at the division. Like, Atlanta can come in and make noise immediately because they have talent on both sides of the ball. Yeah. They got to figure out the quarterback position, but this division is definitely winnable in year 1 of Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah. You would think, because the division was won under 500. They actually tied for the division lead and lost out in a tiebreaker. It's a shame with Penix because he is such an incredibly gifted thrower of the football, but he had multiple knee surgeries in college.
Couldn't you forecast that, like even coming into the league with all the injuries?
It was a stunning, I mean, early in that draft process, people were talking about him in the second round. Because of all the injury concerns, they took him 8th.
And let me say this. When you get into certain offenses and quarterbacks because of injury, you watch them do like pistol and get things and I'm assuming you're doing that because of his limited ability to stretch plays. That shrinks your offense. Like, before we get really into the weeds, it makes it very difficult to run the football and be productive if your quarterback's limited because of injury. And not just making it on the field, it's how productive you can be on the field.
Yeah, they're a team I think worth watching.
No doubt.
There's so much there that no one's been able to unlock. We'll see if Kevin Stefanski brought a key. All right, as we continue, how about Matt Nagy? Does he have the key? Can he revive the Giants offense? Bottom line, was he smart for Dart? That's the question in New York. Plus, the moving sale before the NBA trade deadline. Is Draymond on the move? How about Ja Morant? Are the Bucks pricing Giannis out of the market? Answers to all those questions after we see if the Win Man can answer this one. For Brian Windhorst from Sneaky Hembo. So Drake May was the number 3 pick in the draft out of North Carolina. Got us thinking. Michael Jordan was one of 2 players from Carolina, selected number 3 overall in the NBA draft. Who is the other? That is a great question. The answer is next.
What we have dissected today is a masterclass in the disconnect between roster construction theory and the brutal reality of NFL Sunday management. Let's start with the Frank Reich situation in New York. The joke about him becoming the interim head coach by week 6 isn't just humor. It's a predictive analysis of a fractured organizational structure. When you hire a high-profile former head coach as a coordinator under a regime that is already on shaky ground, you are essentially pre-packaging your own replacement. It undermines the authority of the staff immediately. From a tactical perspective, Reich provides a floor, but does he provide the ceiling required to compete in the AFC East? I doubt it. Moving to the Cleveland and Shedeur Sanders discourse, we see a clash of timelines. The media cycle loves the Sanders narrative, but Todd Monken and Kevin Stefanski are operating on Black Monday time. They do not have the luxury of a 2-year developmental curve. The roster in Cleveland, specifically the offensive line capital and defensive talent, is in a window where they need competency, not potential. The dismissal of Sanders as a guaranteed starter reflects a coaching staff that knows they need a veteran who can read a defense day one, not a rookie learning the speed of the pro game. Then we have the Arizona Cardinals and the Kyler Murray dilemma. This is the most fascinating business case study in the league right now. The suggestion that they should just eat the cap represents a shift in NFL front office philosophy. In the past, teams would succumb to the sunk cost fallacy, playing a quarterback simply because they paid him. Now we are seeing teams like Denver and potentially Arizona realize that a bad contract is less damaging than a bad culture. If LaFleur and the new brass don't believe Murray fits the wide zone or the specific play-action heavy schemes they want to run, keeping him is football malpractice, regardless of the financial penalty. Finally, the Atlanta situation with Michael Penix Jr. is the most technically concerning. We are talking about a quarterback drafted 8th overall who cannot be relied upon to execute a full playbook due to biomechanical durability concerns. When you limit your offense, forcing pistol formations or reducing QB movement to protect the player's knees, you are shrinking the field for the defense. The modern NFL offense requires a quarterback who can extend plays. If Penix is a statue due to medical preservation, Atlanta is playing 10 versus 11. Matt Ryan, now in the front office, knows that you cannot build a franchise around a maybe. This carousel of coaches, Stefanski, LaFleur, Reich, they are all trying to solve the same problem: how to win without elite, healthy quarterback play. And usually the answer is, you can't.